Welcome to Explorador, the world's best adventurers and explorers, for artists and romantics, for the curious and wild at heart. Step into the world of travel insights and destination inspiration. Today with Explorador, we will discover together the magical land of Egypt. Egypt is home to 98.42 million people, and the official language of Egypt is Arabic. Most Egyptians speak one of several vernacular dialects of that language. Egyptian pound, EGP, is the common currency used. 1 USD equals 15.69 EGP. Egypt is the oldest tourist destination on Earth. Ancient Greeks and Romans started the trend, coming to goggle at the cyclopean scale of the pyramids and the Colosseum of Thebes. During colonial times, Napoleon and the British looted Egypt's treasure to fill their national museums, sparkling off a trickle of grand tourists that eventually became a flood of travelers, taken on Nile cruises and Egyptological lectures by the enterprising Thomas Cook. Today, the most popular places to visit are not only the monuments of the Nile Valley and the souks, mosques, and madrasas of Islamic Cairo, but also fantastic coral reefs and tropical fish, dunes, ancient fortresses, monasteries, and prehistoric rock art. The land itself is a freak of nature. Its lifeblood, the River Nile. From the Sudanese border to the shores of the Mediterranean, the Nile Valley and its delta are flanked by arid wastes, the latter as empty as the former are teeming with people. This stark duality between fertility and desolation is fundamental to Egypt's character and has shaped its development since prehistoric times, imparting continuity to diverse cultures and peoples over 7 millennia. It is a sense of permanence and timelessness that is buttressed by religion, which pervades every aspect of life. Although the pagan cults of ancient Egypt are as moribund as its legacy of mummies and temples, their ancient fertility, rites, and processions of boats still hold their place in the celebrations of Islam and Christianity. The result is a multi-layered culture, which seems to accord equal respect to ancient and modern. The peasants of the Nile and the Bedouin tribes of the desert live much as their ancestors did 1,000 years ago. Other communities include the Nubians of the far south and the Coptic Christians, who trace their ancestry back to pharaonic times. What unites them is a love of their homeland, extended family ties, dignity, warmth, and hospitality towards strangers. Though most visitors are drawn to Egypt by its monuments, the enduring memory is likely to be its people and their way of life. Egypt has a generally high temperature, particularly during the summer months from May to August, when the sun may be very strong and the temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius. If you're visiting Egypt during this time, take plenty of sunscreen and drink lots of water. It's still fine to visit Egypt at these times of year, and the heat is more dry than humid. In Cairo and the Nile Delta region, winter, October to February, can be cooler, especially in the evenings and at night. So take a jacket, long sleeve tops, and trousers. The south remains warm during this time, but again, temperatures do drop in the evenings. This is the best time to visit Egypt for sightseeing if you want to avoid the hot sun. The shoulder months of September, March, and April offer pleasant daytime temperatures and are considered the perfect time to enjoy the Red Sea for sunbathing, swimming, and snorkeling. Scuba diving can be enjoyed year-round in places such as Hurghada. Egypt's capital, Cairo, with a population of around 9.1 million, is a seething megalopolis whose chief sightseeing appeal lies in its bazaars and medieval mosques, though there is scarcely less fascination in its juxtapositions of medieval and modern life, the city's fortified gates, villas, and skyscrapers interwoven by flyovers, whose traffic may be halted by donkey carts. Just outside Cairo are the first of the pyramids that range across the desert to the edge of the Fayum. Among them, the unsurpassable trio at Giza, the vast necropolis of Saqqara, and the pyramids at Dahshur. The Giza necropolis, situated in the immediate vicinity of the southwestern suburbs of Cairo, is probably the most famous ancient site in the world, the pyramids together with the Sphinx at the base of the Giza Plateau Road, iconic image of Egypt. They were built over the span of 3 generations by Khufu, his second reigning son, Khafre, and his grandson, Menkaure. Along with these major monuments are a number of smaller satellite structures known as Queen Pyramid, causeways, and temples. Recently, archaeologists in Egypt have discovered around 59 sarcophagi believed to have been buried for around 2,500 years. According to the country's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, the cache of closed coffins was unearthed from an 11-meter deep, 36-feet burial shaft in Sahara, a vast necropolis about 32 kilometers, 20 miles, south of Cairo. Besides all this, there are superb museums devoted to ancient, Coptic, and Islamic Egypt, and enough entertainment to occupy weeks of your time. However, the principal tourist lure remains, as ever, the Nile Valley. With its ancient monuments and timeless river vistas, Nile cruises on a luxury vessel or a felucca sailboat being a great way to combine the two. Around 500 kilometers south of Cairo, Luxor is an ancient site of Thebes. The remains include the ruins of the temple complexes at Karnak as well as Luxor. You will also see the Valley of Queens and the Valley of Kings when you visit this place. Visit the Valley of Kings, where you will find 63 tombs as well as chambers. These royal tombs give clues to the beliefs and funerary rituals of the ancient Egyptians. The town of Luxor is synonymous with the magnificent temples of Karnak and the Theban necropolis, which includes the Valley of the Kings, where Tutankhamun and other pharaohs were buried. Aswan, Egypt's southernmost city, has the loveliest setting on the Nile and a languorous ambiance. From here, you can visit the island Philae Temple of Isis and the rock-hewn colossi at Abu Simbel, or embark on a cruise to the other temples around Lake Nasser. Also, was talking about Aswan, we can't forget to mention the majestic Aswan High Dam, which is hailed as an engineering marvel. It contains 18 times the amount of material used to build the Great Pyramid of Giza. It also allows you to see Lake Nasser up close. It was once the world's largest artificial lake, meaning it's high on some people's bucket lists. Because of how high the dam is, it provides incredible views up and down the Nile River. Besides monuments, Egypt abounds in natural wonders. Edged by coral reefs teeming with tropical fish, the Sinai Peninsula offers superb diving and snorkeling, and palm-fringed beaches where women can swim unmolested. Resorts along the Gulf of Aqaba are varied enough to suit everyone, whether you're into the upmarket hotels of Sharm el-Sheikh, nearby Naama Bay, or Taba further north, or cheap, simple living as Dahab and Nuweiba. From there, it's easy to visit St. Catherine's Monastery and Mount Sinai, where Moses received the Ten Commandments in the mountainous interior. With more time, cash, and stamina, you can also embark on jeep safaris and camel treks to remote oases and spectacular wadis. Egypt's Red Sea coast has more reefs further offshore, with snorkeling and diving traditionally centered around Hurghada, where barely touched island reefs from Port Safaga down to Marsa Alam beckon serious diving enthusiasts. While the eastern desert is still barely touched by tourism, the western desert oasis has been on the tourist trail for 40 years, and nowadays hosts safaris into the wilderness. Siwa, out towards the Libyan border, has a unique culture and history, limpid pools and bags of charm. Travelers can also follow the Great Desert Circuit, starting from Cairo, Luxor, or Sayet through the 4 inner oases, though Bahariya and Farafra hold the most appeal, with the lovely white desert between them. The larger oases of Dakhla and Karga also have their rewards, once you escape their modernized capitals. And for those into serious desert expeditions, there's the challenge of exploring the Great Sand Sea or the remote wadis of Gilf Kabir, whose prehistoric rock art featured in the film The English Patient. In contrast to these deep desert locations are the quasi-oases of the Fayum and Wadi Natron, featuring the fossil-strewn Valley of the Whales, diverse ancient ruins, and Coptic monasteries. On the Mediterranean, Egypt's second city, Alexandria, boasts a string of beaches to which Cairnests flock in summer, and excellent seafood restaurants. Despite being founded by Alexander the Great and lost to the Romans by Cleopatra, the city today betrays little of its ancient glory. However, its magnificent new library, featuring statues raised from the sunken remains of Cleopatra's palace, and the lighthouse of Pharos, which divers can explore, are restoring an air of majesty. Famous too for its decadence during colonial times, Alexandria still allows romantics to indulge in a nostalgic exploration of the city immortalized in Durrell's Alexandria Quartet. While further along the Mediterranean coast is the World War II battlefield of El Alamein. For divers, the waters off Alexandria offer an array of sunken cities and wartime wrecks to explore. The Nile Delta, east of Alexandria, musters few archaeological monuments given its major role in ancient Egyptian history, and is largely overlooked by tourists. However, for those interested in Egyptian culture, the Delta hosts colorful religious festivals at Tanta, Zagazig, and other towns. Further east lies the Canal Zone, dominated by the Suez Canal and its 3 cities. Suez is grim, but a vital transport nexus between Cairo, Sinai, and the Red Sea coast. Port Said and Asma'ilia are pleasant, albeit sleepy places, where you can get a feel of real Egypt without tripping over other tourists. Grand Egyptian Museum. It has been feted as one of the most significant museum openings in decades, not just for Egypt, but for the entire world. Sometime in 2021, the Grand Egyptian Pyramid, the world's largest archaeological museum and one of the most expensive ever built, will open its doors to the public in Giza, just a stone's throw away from the Great Pyramids. It will boast panoramic views of the pyramids of Giza, and the largest artifact will be an enormous statue of Ramses the Great, located in the atrium. The grand staircase behind will house 87 statues of pharaohs and Egyptian gods. In addition, the world's largest archaeological museum will have 28 shops, 10 restaurants, a conference center, and a cinema. There will be around 100,000 objects in the collection, and the star attraction will be all 5,600 objects from the tomb of King Tutankhamun. Egyptian food is one of the most authentic and delicious foods in the world. Within a combination of elements from across the Middle East and North America, as well as Greece and France, reflecting the diverse influences that Egyptians have had throughout its history. Egyptian chefs often put their own spin on their version of the most beloved foods in Egypt. Here are some famous Egyptian dishes which we recommend you to try when you come to Egypt. Ful madamas, ful and tamea, mulakaya, fata, koshari, hawashi, shawarma, kebab and kafta, basbousa, and kanafa. Wow, this is so yummy! Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you feel inspired, then please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We also can't wait to hear from you, so please share your valuable thoughts in the comment section below. And lastly, click on the link below to follow us on Facebook. Next week, we'll be exploring the Celtic land of myths and legends, the mesmerizing Scotland. As they say in Egypt, ma salama.